I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. Yeah. I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. Yeah. I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. Yeah. I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. Yeah. I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat. Yeah. I eat extra sharp, that's what I eat.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been oh, seriously, sauce, a lot of oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce. Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
Running against the worst candidate in the history of presidential politics puts pressure on me. Could you imagine if I lose my whole life? What am I going to do? I'm going to say, I lost to the worst candidate in the history of politics. I'm not going to feel so good. Maybe I'll have to leave the country. I don't know.
That isn't what it meant.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
Retweet. That was an opinion of somebody, and that was a retweet. I'll put it out there. People can decide for themselves. I don't take a position.
Bottom line, the American dream, the great American dream versus being a socialist hellhole.
Retweet. That was a retweet. And that was a retweet. And that was a retweet. And that was a retweet.
Unbelievable.
Oh, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
it's true. And it is what it is.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
$7 million for reef fish management. $25 million to combat Asian carp. $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat.
Is this thing on? Hello? 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 Is this thing on? Max, is it on? Maxie? He doesn't know. Maxie, get up here. Maxie, can you tell me? Can you tell me if it's on? Oh, Maxie. Wah! Ooh! Look at that puppy! Look at him! Max! You've conquered me! You've won! You won! Oh! Ah! Ah! Woo! Ah! Oh! 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 Ah! Ah! All right, folks. Oh, there you go. Trying to destroy my fucking computer. You almost knocked that MF on the ground. You're a good doggy, Max. You're good. You're good. He's eating me. Eat my hand. You're good. Good. He's good. All right, folks. So we got a show here today. Finally back to the purity streams. Is this a purity stream? All right, I'll take it. Max kind of got my knuckle a little bit here. Max, you got me. Why'd you get me? Why'd you get me? Why'd you get me? Why'd you get me? Glenn is backing a non-Lula candidate. Can't say I'm surprised. That's right. Glenn. I prefer Glenner. Alright, folks. Whew. So there is no more left in the US. I'm all we got. I'm taking the mantle, folks. I am the one true leftist. So we got some news here. Got some news here. right, folks, we got some news here. Wow. So much going on in the world. Did I get a strike? No, I just got a copyright claim. So I cannot monetize those videos. This is the Vanguard. Fuck yeah. I'll take it. Maxie. Maxie's another leftist. Max and myself, we are the only leftists in the universe. Maxie, why are you licking? Why are you licky? That's called a bed. Why? Oh, hello. Hello, puppy. Look at him. I cry looking at this dog. Oh. Look how tall he is. I got a copyright claim from whoever made the song, I guess. Those motherfuckers, they're getting me. They're getting multiple generations of me, like multiple versions of myself. The one through line in my entire life is that godforsaken motherfucking song. Max is currently woofing it up back there. He is circling. You can see his paw. Hold up. Look. Is that visible? All right. So, we've been still protesting in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Yesterday was day 239. And I've got footage from day 238 as well. And so, there's really been no new updates that I'm capable of speaking on. I pretty much have summed it up. The case here is as ridiculous as it's ever been. Again, as a quick recap here, Deputy Daniel Meads modified his magazine and lied to investigators about how many times he shot his weapon. Who knows if one of the bullets that went into the neighbor's kitchen was Daniel Meads? Who knows? Another aspect, again, is they shot up someone else's house. Like, someone else's home who had nothing to do with Andrew Brown Jr. had bullets fly through the kitchen. I don't know how you can possibly say that that's good. I really don't. Again, another factor here that's worth mentioning is that after everything that happened with the protests, with Andrew Brown Jr.'s murder, with them trying to cover it up, etc., they still allowed some of the sheriff deputies to dance and parade around in the Christmas parade on December 4th, front and center, so the whole city can see the murderers and the assassins and hitmen have a good time and get a little tipsy. I think personally that this signs, this isn't signs of corruption. This is just out and about blatant corruption. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners is just pretty evil. I mean, honestly, all of them are just disgusting, fucking putrid scumbag cocksucker motherfuckers. Again, they have been siphoning off. They are parasites. They are fleas and leeches on the American taxpayer and the people in Pasquotank County and Elizabeth City. They've been stealing our money and funneling it, laundering it to murderers, into an assassination squad, and to hitmen. Personally, I would rather my tax dollars go to combating the coronavirus pandemic. I would rather my tax dollars go to fixing the water in Elizabeth City. For those of you that don't know, most of the water supply in Elizabeth City is poisoned. It's got lethal levels of chloroform. If you ingest it over long periods of time, it can cause tumors and cancer. So that's not good. I would rather the taxpayer dollars go to fixing potholes in Elizabeth City. Is that possible? Can we do that? No? All right. But instead, they're going to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars giving assassins extra money and paid vacation and overtime pay, where most people are struggling to even hold a single job in this economy because they don't care. They don't give a fuck about optics. They don't give a fuck what people see them do because they can get away with it. No one will hold them accountable? It's impossible to hold them accountable. The system of governance, as it is now, allows them to kill hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people over their careers, and then the worst possible scenario is they get voted out. And then they get to collect a pension. What? You're telling me you can be responsible for the deaths of a large amount of people, and the worst possible thing that can happen to you is you lose your job? I don't know. To me, it just seems, it's fascinating. It really is. This whole American experiment. The whole American experiment to me is fascinating. These people get paid a significant amount of money to roam the streets of Elizabeth City looking for drugs. And most of the drugs that they find, marijuana. Most of the people that get sentenced for drug-related offenses is for possessing less than a couple grams of marijuana. Again, when I was going through the court proceedings with my court case, I was sitting in the courtroom a lot, and I literally lost count of how many black folks got sentenced to jail sentences for like having a half-smoked joint or blunt in their pocket, like less than a couple grams of weed, and they got sentenced to a steel cage for several weeks into months. Or is anyone responsible for that going to be held accountable? Enslaving people? Again, police began as slave patrols. That's all they ever were. That's all they ever will be. Unless we do some extreme reforms and or abolish this fucking system. You're telling me I'm walking home. Well, not me. I'm a white person. But you're telling me someone can walk home, had a very stressful day at work, and they want to get a little high before they get home, and then you're going to sentence them to a steel cage for several months? Is that a joke? Is that a prank? Are you going to like lock the steel cage and then like go like, haha, trolled, and then give them like $50,000 and like, you know, put them on TV? Because that doesn't seem to be happening. It seems to me that they're enslaving people over stupid shit. But again, they had to kill Andrew Brown Jr. That's what the district attorney, Andrew Womble, said. They had to kill Andrew Brown Jr. He said, and I quote, "We couldn't let him get away." Well, if you couldn't let him get away, why didn't you have a signed warrant? The warrant was not signed by a judge, right? So you couldn't let him get away. Why? Because he's a drug dealer. He had so many drugs. Drugs! He's got drugs out the wham-wham. So you killed him. The drugs are gone. You killed the druggie, right? They're gone now, right? Wrong. The drugs are not gone. In fact, now again, I don't know if this is correlated, or I don't, but there's been a significant amount of gang activity in Elizabeth City and Pasquotank County, shootouts over drugs. Little kids have died over gang-related activity. Where do gangs derive all their power from? Drugs. If drugs were not criminally illegal, gangs would not have any power. I'm telling you that right now. So gangs are a policy choice. Every time a police officer arrests someone for drugs, what they're doing is they're empowering gangs. What they're doing is they're creating black markets that otherwise shouldn't need to exist. But again, all of this none of these people will be held accountable. It's not going to happen. It'll never happen. None of these people will be held accountable. The worst thing that's going to happen to them is they're going to lose their job, and then they're going to live the rest of their lives in luxury. Because the United States of America is a hellhole. It is a shithole country, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you tell everyone else in your family that this fucking shit has got to stop, the sooner we can change that. But until that happens, we're going to be reading the news every day. Dead, mass shooting, gang shootout, kids dying, dead, right? Water poisoning, food poisoning. Everyone's dying of old age, or not dying of old age. They're dying of like heart disease. They're dying of cancer. Our society is crumbling, and all of it is a policy choice by the people in charge. So, anyway, there you go. We've still been out protesting. Is Mila here? Mila better not be here. Anyway. Oh, hey, Mila. How's it going? What's up? This is a headline, folks. Queen Elizabeth II cancels pre-Christmas family lunch. This is a headline. Like, I scroll through my newsfeed, there could be literally anything else. And instead, I'm reading Queen Elizabeth II cancels pre-family lunch. I hope that she cancels her entire family. I hope that she remove pre-Christmas and then lunch. Queen Elizabeth II cancels family. Abolish that shit. You just discovered Electro Boom? What's that? Oh, Lord. North Carolina, folks. This is where I live currently. I would like to move. I would like to get the fuck out of here because this fucking state sucks, right? But North Carolina, I want to talk about this, right? We are in the middle of a global pandemic. More people in the United States, as of this moment, have died from coronavirus than any other mass tragedy in United States history. Here's an article here from WITN. 92% of North Carolina counties have high COVID transmission. For those of you that don't know, I live in Pasquotank County, which has the highest COVID transmission rate in all of North Carolina and has for the last 4 months. But wait, I've got 2 articles here that I want to make this segment on because here's something. 10 things to do with your kids this weekend in North Carolina. This is from Go Ask Mom on WRAL. So this is another local news outlet. WRAL and WITN are 2 local-ish news outlets. They cover like the Virginia Beach area, North Carolina, that kind of stuff. Okay. So in one news outlet, 92% of North Carolina counties have high COVID transmission. And another, let's go out and have fun! Woo! Pandemic? What is that? Let's go! Oh, let's bring our kids to the movies in an enclosed theater space. Woo! 92% of North Carolina counties have high COVID transmission. So let's read. Data from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention show 92% of North Carolina's 100 counties have a high rate, or 92 of 100, have a high rate of community transmission of COVID-19. In November, that map was trending positively, with much of the east shaded orange, signifying a substantial transmission rate, the level beneath high. Now, all counties in the state except Polk, Halifax, Northampton, Hertford, Chowan, Hyde, Jones, and Carteret have high transmission. To be classified as an area with high COVID transmission, the county has to have over 100 new cases of the virus for every 100,000 people, or 10% or more positive tests within a 7-day period. But again, 10 things to do in North Carolina. We're going to go out. We're going to go to the Durham Holiday Parade. That's right. Because in the United States of America, we have all this money lying around, right? And instead of using that money on grocery delivery and paying people to stay at home so that they don't kill each other in a pandemic, we're going to spend that money on the Durham Holiday Parade! We're going to go up and down. WRAL anchor Lena Tillett will emission a Durham Holiday Parade on Saturday. The event will include floats, bands, drill teams, and community groups. Don't you love community groups in the middle of a fucking global pandemic? Don't you look? The event starts at 11 a.m. So all day, you can go out and have fun. Kill your kids. Kill your parents, kill your siblings with a global pandemic with COVID-19. And again, North Carolina has shitfuck vaccination rates, right? We have shitfuck vaccination rates in North Carolina. Oh, you want to go watch the Polar Express 3D? Isn't that movie old? Like, when the fuck did this movie come out? The Polar Express. Isn't that an old-ass movie? Can you watch that shit at home? 2004. Okay, we're in a global pandemic, right? Let's keep reading. Okay. We're still seeing a surge with infections caused by the Delta variant. That's not just any particular county or even in the state. We're really seeing that across the country, particularly in the northern states, but also here now. So, what do we want to do? Go watch a movie from 2004 in a crowded movie theater. This is why the United States of America is shit. Every single one of these people, every single one of these authors should be in jail. In my opinion. These people need to be locked the fuck up. Instead of locking people up for drugs. Oh, drugs, the public health crisis, we got drugs. What about disinformation peddlers that are literally writing articles intended to kill you and your kids? Marbles Gingerbread Jamboree. Make memories in Gingerbread. Yeah, you're going to make memories as the last event that you got to share with your kid before you die on the deathbed of COVID-19. That's a real good memory. For your kid, your kid's going to remember for the rest of their lives. If only we didn't go to Marbles Gingerbread Jamboree. Where did my mom get this stupid-ass idea? They got it from WRAL.com. Make memories in gingerbread houses this weekend at Marbles Kids Museum in Raleigh. There are 3 sessions on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. Tickets are $15. You have to pay to kill yourself. WRAL Nights of Lights. Oh, so the news station themselves are going to sponsor this. Okay, that's great. Towering oaks, rolling hills, and open fields will be the magical backdrop for this dazzling light show throughout the park. Illuminated trees, festive light displays. All of this money that is being spent on this garbage can be spent to save us, to be, again, pay us to stay at home, give us food delivery, grocery delivery, pharmaceutical delivery. It's not that fucking difficult. Look at this. Carolina Ballet presents The Nutcracker. Oh, don't you want to see The Nutcracker? Yeah, The Nutcracker. A story that's been told for like hundreds of fucking years. Can't wait. It's not like this is like fucking, I don't know, like this is like Matrix 4 or something, and it's like, holy shit, man, this is cool, it's new, it's awesome. That's not this. This is The Nutcracker. What? You're gonna go watch... The Nutcracker is worth sacrificing your children's lives for. North Carolina is at more than a 9% daily positive rate, with 63% of the population 12 years old and up fully vaccinated, according to the state health department. Again, shit fuck. 63% is shit fuck. That's an F in school. You got an F. You failed. You're going to have to try again next year. Although Delta is the dominant variant in North Carolina right now, state health officials do not anticipate that to remain. It is my expectation that Omicron will start to take over, Moore said. I do expect that we are going to see more COVID over this winter. However, Moore says there is also a way to celebrate the holiday season while staying safe from infection. Life goes on. We've had a really rough time, and everyone needs to make those connections and be with the people that they love over the holidays. But there are ways to do that and keep you safe and keep them safe. With the holidays just over 1 week away, Moore urges vaccination is the best protection against infection. He also recommends getting a booster shot if you're eligible. Reminder, I am getting my booster shot tomorrow. I'm going to be getting it right after the show tomorrow at 12:30. So I'm excited for that. Make sure that you're using masks, using the tests that you're doing what you can to limit the spread. The NCDHHS has released new guidelines for gathering safely for the holidays. Are they going to be enforced? No. Does anyone give a shit? No. No. So let's go back. Let's see what we can do with our kids. Cinderella the Musical! Cinderella the Musical! You know Cinderella? Yeah, you ever heard of Cinderella? It's this hot new story. They just made it up. Just came out. Never heard of it before. Cinderella, what's that? No, in fact, it's actually an old story. It's one that almost everyone on Earth has heard. So, what do you want to do in a deadly pandemic? Let's go listen to a fucking repeat. Let's go watch a rerun. That's going to be our last memory before we die from COVID. A rerun. Holidays in the Park. NC Chinese Lantern Festival. Downtown Raleigh Illuminate Artwork. Go fuck yourself. All of these people should be in jail. Fuck them in the face. I saw the movie Snowpiercer. Is the show any good? Yo, I honestly feel like a crazy person. I'm not even gonna lie. Right? I do feel like a crazy person. Living in North Carolina, I feel like a fucking crazy person here. Right? I go to the grocery store, and I'm not even joking. I'm not joking when I say this. When I go to the grocery store, I am the only person in the entire store that's wearing a mask. I'm not even joking. The employees will do like the fucking chin mask, right? Like it's around their chin. Like it's a fucking fashion accessory, like the hot new necklace just dropped. Like, isn't that every time? And I've gone to the grocery store like maybe 5 or 6 times in the last like 2 or 3 months. Every single fucking time. It's a miracle if I see someone with a mask. And if I see someone with a mask, it's usually an elderly person. This country is garbage. This state, North Carolina, is garbage. The media is garbage. The government of North Carolina, garbage. Roy Cooper, garbage. They're all trash. They're all supervillains. They are killing you and your family because you are fucking stupid enough to think that there's no such thing as a pandemic. No such thing. God dang it, it's not real. It's all fake. Yeah. Fucking morons. Fucking morons. All of them. The media. The government. They're all fucking morons. And the people in this country. The people in this fucking country. Are fucking. They're just so stupid. And again. New poll came out. 63% of Americans believe in angels. 45% of Americans pray on a daily basis. Now, what is the Venn diagram of the 45% of Americans that pray every day and the people that get vaccinated? 63% of North Carolina is vaccinated. What's the Venn diagram on that one? People are so fucking dumb that they will lay down by the bed and do this and pray to an invisible sky daddy, but they won't wear a mask in a fucking pandemic. But they won't take a shot in a fucking pandemic. We're doomed. We are doomed. in a country where 95% of its citizens are so stupid that they don't know how to eat vegetables. Rielan? In this country, Lord have motherfucking mercy. Look at this dog. Hold up. Look at that dog. This is happening right behind me. You can see it. Look at that. You can see this right now. Holy shit. This is crazy stuff. This is fucking crazy. Well, Catherine, as you know, Jesus is in fact better than Spider-Man. So why don't you get on the bedside and pray to God? Because why not, right? Like, what the fuck? This country is fucking garbage. It is so bad. It is so bad. It's the worst country. It's the worst country on planet Earth. Do I follow Right Wing Watch on Twitter? I do. Why? Are they posting bangers? Just curious? Well. Seems like they're posting bangers. But anyway. Be cool to have someone from there on the show. I need to have, like, someone that, like, reaches out to people for me. Because, like, I don't possess, like, the necessary skill that is required for me to reach out to people that I don't know. Like, if someone comes to the show, or if they follow me, or, like, if we have talked before, then it's easy. Right? But there's, like, a certain ability that's required to just walk up to a complete stranger and say, you want to come on my show? I don't have that ability. So I gotta hire someone that does. Because I don't. All right. Democrats are unlikely to pass Biden's social spending plan this year. Here's what it means. Folks, do you remember the whole shindig here that happened? Do you remember the 2-track bill bullshit? Do you remember that? You remember that? Oh yeah, we're going to pass the social bill and the infrastructure bill at the same time. Remember that? Is anyone? That way that you didn't have to deal with Joe Manchin fucking it up. Well, here we go. They fucked it up. Because Pramila Jayapal, who had the audacity to post this on Twitter. Look at this. Nearly 2 in 3 voters support Build Back Better. Enough with the delays. Let's get this done and deliver for working people. She fucked up hard. Like the most, and again, the most prolific failure that has happened with American progressives ever, really. I mean, like at least in 100 years. I mean, like, let's be honest. When have progressives, or like anywhere to like the left of Adolf Hitler in Congress, right? When have they ever had anything good happen ever at all? Ever. Right? The last time you can point to anything even remotely like the Build Back Better Act was like the New Deal or something. Right? Or civil rights. Right? So it's been a long time since anyone to the left of Adolf Hitler got any legislation passed in the U.S. Congress. And Pramila Jayapal was the head of the Progressive Caucus. And she said for months and months and months, remember, I made videos about this. If you followed the news, you remember, we need the Senate to pass the social package and the infrastructure package at the same time. Joe Biden said that they wanted to pass the social and the infrastructure at the same time. Then, as predicted, Joe Manchin, the president, and the vice president, Joe Biden, decided, fuck that shit. Force the infrastructure package through. And so then the infrastructure package went to the House without the social package. Again, they wanted to vote for both at the same time because they knew that they had the highest amount of leverage because Joe Manchin wanted to pass the infrastructure deal, right? Joe Biden wanted to pass the infrastructure deal. Remember when Joe Biden was like, it's infrastructure week. Go fuck yourself. Pramila Jayapal told everyone on Twitter, everyone who asked her questions, we got this. And she folded like a fucking napkin that like you spilled a fucking Sprite on at a restaurant and it's all wet and you pick it up, right? And it folds on itself and then it crumbles and disintegrates. Because she's a fucking loser. She capitulated and voted for the infrastructure package because she's a fucking loser. Now again, I don't want to say that. That's not something that I don't gain anything. Like, it's not like, oh wow, I called Pramila Jayapal a fucking loser. Look at me, I'm great. I don't want to be here. I want to have the social spending package have been passed. That's what I want. That's what I wanted. That's what, again, 2 in 3 voters apparently wanted. She was more afraid of Democratic leadership than she is of 2 out of 3 Americans. And that's because it doesn't matter what Americans think about legislation. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what donors think of legislation. We have layups like marijuana legalization, which the president alone could do. You don't even need Congress. You don't need all of that bullshit. The president by themselves could legalize marijuana. And about 70% of Americans want that to happen. There's no Joe Manchin in the White House. They're still not doing it. It doesn't matter. The polling for these things literally, it could, in fact, the more Americans support it, that's the less likelihood of it being passed. So it's the exact inverse. I would rather see polls where everyone says we hate the Build Back Better plan, because then, reverse psychology or something, right? I don't know. But either way, she had the audacity to tweet out this fucking garbage. Because she's a loser. She's a failure. And she sucks. Fuck Pramila Jayapal. I'm done with that bitch. But anyway, let's read more of this article here. President Joe Biden's social spending and climate policy bill has stalled in the Senate, all but extinguishing Democrats' hopes of passing it this year. Now, again, I want to be very clear. When I say anyone to the left of Adolf Hitler, I mean that the corporate Democrats and the Republicans are in the same category. That's what I mean. Obviously, it's a little bit hyperbolic. But so, obviously, I think that they're garbage. I want that to be understood so that no one can misinterpret me. I think that the leftmost flank of Congress is the only thing that I care about at all, to be honest with you. And I'm going to get into a story, or it's not even a story, but it's just a clip, of Pelosi endorsing insider trading, which is illegal. She endorsed something that's literally illegal. So I'm going to get into that shortly. But again, they're all garbage. They're all trash. They're shit on my shoes. But Pramila Jayapal and the Progressive Caucus told us things were going to get done, and they lied. That's my problem. They lied. They said that they would only vote for the infrastructure package if it came at the same time as the social package, and they lied. They lied to you. They lied to me. They lied to everybody. Now, again, we already know that corporate Democrats and Republicans lie. That's their job description. They lie all the fucking time. Lie, 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 lie. That's all they ever do. The president lies all the fucking time. We already know that. Right? But the Progressive Caucus had this opportunity to say, we are truth tellers. We will not bullshit you. We will tell you what we're going to do and then do it. And they lied. Simple as that. Pramila Jayapal lied. Senator Joe Manchin, a conservative Democrat, who alone can block his party's plan, has not signed off on the $1.75 trillion proposal. Remember when it was 3.5, by the way? But just throwing that out there. It means any vote on the bill will likely slip into 2022, when the coming midterm elections will only heighten the sharp political pressure surrounding the plan. Now again, I don't know why Joe Manchin is able to do any of this. I don't. Like, he's the president. I mean, let's be honest. Joe Manchin controls the party. Now, again, it's not like that's a surprise. Right? It's not like, oh, we voted for all the Democrats, they took control of the Senate, and then Joe Manchin, like, is just spawned out of the sludge of the ether, right? And just materialized, right? No, we already knew who Joe Manchin was. Kirsten Sinema, maybe you could say, was a little bit of a wild card, right? But Joe Manchin was a known quantity, right? Everyone in politics and anyone who knows anything about the Senate knows Joe Manchin is a fucking scumbag. So the idea that they ever pretended like any of this was possible at all to begin with is bullshit. It's bullshit. And again, Joe Manchin's daughter is wrapped up in an EpiPen scandal, right? Price gouging people, resulting in people dying. That should be on the national news. Pramila Jayapal should be talking about that every day, but she's not, because instead of trying to fight back, all they do is capitulate. And again, I don't want to be here and say that. It doesn't make me feel good. This is depressing. This is fucking depressing. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on Wednesday said his party will continue working on getting the Senate into a position where we can vote on the president's Build Back Better legislation. Senator Chuck Schumer, right, who famously or infamously hid a letter from Joe Manchin, where Joe Manchin said 1.75 was the highest he would go, when $3.5 trillion was the social package for months and months and months that the president signed off on, Chuck Schumer signed off on, right? The House signed off on, Nancy Pelosi, they all signed off on it because they knew that Joe Manchin had sent Chuck Schumer a letter saying he's not going to do it. So they all paraded around for months and months and months that they're going to do it. And I guarantee you Chuck shared that with the president and the House Speaker. They knew what they were saying was bullshit. They knew Joe Manchin would never support it, yet they pretended like he might, and Joe Manchin didn't yap up that much because they were bullshitting you. And they were bullshitting the Progressive Caucus. And the bullshitters won. And they will always win because this country is fucking garbage. But I would like to read a statement from Cori Bush, who voted against the infrastructure package, as she promised, because she actually cares and she's not a bullshitter. So I want to read her statement on this. Today, Congresswoman Cori Bush, MO1, issued the below statement following reporting of Senate discussions to further delay the Build Back Better Act. I am a single mother, a survivor, someone who has been formerly unhoused, and a black woman in America, said Congressman Cori Bush. I've lived my entire life being overlooked by policymakers in Washington, D.C. I promised my district when I ran for office that I would not let our community be overlooked any longer. After spending months building support for the president's entire agenda, I voted no on the bipartisan infrastructure package because the Build Back Better Act had not yet passed the Senate, and the senators who had been blocking life-saving funding had not yet made any public commitments to support the bill. I put my reputation on the line to make it clear that if we want to deliver the entire much-needed and long overdue Biden agenda, we must not undermine our power as a government nor the power of the people by placing the fate of the Build Back Better Act at the feet of one senator, Joe Manchin. I dealt with unfair criticism that came my way because St. Louis was so desperately needs the Build Back Better Act, from climate action and universal preschool to community violence prevention and to expand the child tax credit. Today's reporting that the Build Back Better Act may be put on the shelf for the foreseeable future is alarming. To my community, I promise you that I'm doing everything in my power to ensure that this decision does not become permanent. Now again, her power, she doesn't have a lot of power. There's not that much power that she has. It is unacceptable that discussion of further delays of the passage of the Build Back Better Act is being framed as a choice between the legislation and voting rights. For as long as this country has existed, black folks in America have been either denied or forced to accept the bare minimum. The Build Back Better Act and voting rights are both essential to achieving racial equity. For black folks in my community and across the country, we reject the notion that we must choose between one or the other. They could pass them both at the same time, but they're not. Because they're bullshitters. And again, what is a senator? I ask you this. What is a senator? It's all make-believe. There's no such thing as a senator. But let me give you some more information on this, okay? The Senate only exists to protect states. States. Right? Because when the Union was being formed, right, states were controlled by slave owners, and they controlled entire swaths of land, and they had a bunch of subjects and slaves that they ruled over. And in order to keep that power, the power of governorship at that point in American history, they wanted a Senate, people that the governor could appoint. Again, reminder, the Senate first started as appointee only. Only the governor could appoint senators to the U.S. Senate. That was changed a while ago. But again, that was the original inception. They wanted a way to make sure checks and balances, right? But not for power. Not so that one group would be more powerful than another, but so that all groups would be incredibly powerful and could always just play footsie and hacky sack with all their garbage. Right? The Senate was designed to be as undemocratic as possible. Wyoming, North and South Dakota have 6 senators. They have literally like a third, if that, I don't even know, I could look this up, but I'm not going to, of the population of California, a quarter probably. California has 2 senators. Think about that. The makeup of the Senate is fake. It's like if I made up a Minecraft server. Y'all play Minecraft, right? If I made up a Minecraft server, right, and I had no, like, I didn't feel like using, like, you know, the scripts or the mods that actually do something that, you know, and I just said, everyone, the rules, you can't use clay, right? You can't use grass in the Minecraft server. And then everyone just followed the rules. Well, there is nothing in the laws of physics that say, well, Joe Manchin is a senator and the senator gets their way. There is no law, there is no rule of nature, the laws of physics, the universe that we know it, that say that the senator, oh yes, the senator gets to decide millions of people will die because I'm the senator. That's made up. It's fake. People made it up. Slave owners made it up. Now let's talk about the filibuster. Oh, the filibuster. And the Senate, the senator wants the filibuster. The filibuster was so made up, it's not even in the Constitution. They made it up in the late 19th century, right, as a way to prevent radical Republicans from finishing Reconstruction, from preventing black people from having equal rights to everyone else, right? They created the filibuster. Oh, yes, the filibuster. Yes, indeed. As a way to stall voting rights in this country. The filibuster got its most of its usage through the Jim Crow era of the U.S. Senate. It's all made up. They made it up, and you are dumb enough to think that it's real. There is no such thing as a senator. There is no such thing as a filibuster. It's made up. It's like if we played a card game, and I said, well, you're not allowed to use any cards that have hearts in them, and your hand has all the best cards, and they're all hearts. Well, you can't use them because I said so. Wait, you said so? Well, who are you? Oh, I'm the senator. The what? It isn't real. None of this is real. It's all bullshit. Every single part of this is bullshit. And there are only, now that we know this, there are only 6 members of the House of Representatives that are even willing to say that it's bullshit. And I wish they would do more. I wish they would go on media and shit talk Joe Manchin, talk about the EpiPen scandal, do all this, do all that. I wish they would do more, but also there are only 6 people. Can we really expect 6 people to go up against the U.S. fucking bullshit factory? Can we really expect that? I don't think so. The idea that voting rights... Oh, now they care about voting rights. Now, all of a sudden, after months and months and months of we don't give a shit about voting rights, now, all of a sudden, when the Build Back Better Act was right on that table, right about to be voted on, all of us... Oh, shit. We totally forgot about voting rights. Huh. That's crazy shit. It's fucking nonsense, folks. It's all bullshit. Andrew Kohler is so excited. All right. Let's get into Nancy Pelosi, shall we? Because I teased this in the previous seg. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is a criminal. She engages in illegal activity and she organizes on behalf of criminals. Exhibit A.
Madam Speaker, Insider just completed a 5-month investigation finding that 49 members of Congress and 182 senior congressional staffers have violated the Stock Act, the insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that, and secondly, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We have a responsibility to report in the stock, on the stock, but I'm not familiar with that 5-month review, but if people aren't reporting, they should be.
Why should they be?
Because this is a free market and people, we're a free market economy, they should be able to participate in that.
Madam Speaker,
Hold up. I have a very adequate statement on this one.
Well, what did it mean then? Explain.
It meant that it's indicative of low-resolution thinking.
First of all, I've got multiple things that I want to say here. Free market economy? Huh? That is the literal exact opposite of a free market economy. A free market is when everyone plays by the fucking same fucking rules. That's a free market economy. When you have insider information and you can predict the future of the market, and then you manipulate the market based on your own self-interest at the expense of American people, that is not a free market economy. So we don't live in a free market economy. We never have, right? The people that have disproportionate amounts of money and power have always been able to manipulate the market. 90% of stocks are owned by like 1% of the population, right? This country is not a free market economy. It's garbage. It's trash. They're criminals. This is a criminal syndicate. The House of Representatives is a criminal syndicate. The Senate is an organized criminal syndicate. Imagine like gangsters with their Tommy guns. That's basically what the Senate and the House are. They're criminals. They're organized crime. And who's getting stolen from? You are. They are stealing your tax dollars and they give you nothing in response. Nothing at all in response. They give you nothing. They give you nothing at all. And then they have the audacity to do this fucking horse shit. Now, I would go as far, I think that we should abolish money. I think we should abolish the stock market. I think we should abolish all this kinds of shit. Right? If it's a game, if it's like Monopoly, like a game, and you want to invest fake money into the stock market, and money is not tied to your survival, that's one thing. If it's a game, if it's like getting the top of a leaderboard on like Osu or whatever, that's fine. Let there be a stock market. But if it's tied to money, and if money is tied to survival, then that shit is fucked up. And again, that's the problem with all of this, is they control the money, they control the stocks, they control the information, they've got you by the fucking balls. And then they won't even fill your fucking potholes. They say that the stimulus packages caused runaway inflation and not giant tax cuts for the rich. Again, they're criminals. I don't know what to tell you. They are criminals. Remember when Dianne Feinstein, senator from California, Nancy Pelosi's friend, was caught up in an insider trading scandal with Richard Burr, senator from North Carolina, and Kelly Loeffler, then senator from Georgia? She lost epic style. But every time Democrats, they couldn't ignore it. They tried for a little bit, but then every time they mentioned it, they said Richard Burr and Kelly Loeffler. Dianne Feinstein was implicated in the same insider trading scandal. But every time Democratic leadership mentioned it, they just conveniently left that part out. Just made up. Like, yeah, it was just the Republicans. They're criminals. And we're just letting them get away with it. There's going to be no accountability for them. The amount of death, suffering, and despair that they cause, while they laugh about it, there will be no accountability. The worst thing that Nancy Pelosi could ever imagine is losing an election, and she said that she's going to retire. We'll see how that goes. The worst thing that she can imagine is losing an election and then living the rest of her life in luxury. That is the absolute worst case scenario in this government, in this country. She is personally responsible for the deaths of at least 800,000 people in this country, the suffering of the rest of us, right? The emaciation of this country. She is responsible for it. She is one of the most powerful members of the U.S. government, and she chooses time and time again to act on behalf of big corporations, big donors, and against the American people. She is one of the most prolific serial killers in American history, in world history. Because that's all government is. It's a group of organized serial killers. They get together and they wonder and they plan on how to kill as many people as possible for the rush and to steal all of their money and then to get away with it. That's all government is. So fuck them in the face. I'm sick of it. Ugh, my eyeball's got something in it. Mila, thank you, thank you. Just for that. Who's Sandy? Is Sandy Environmental Coffee House? Hello, Sandy. Oh my god, I'm stretching my back. Let's go. Alright, okay. So I talk about government a lot on my show, but I think what's equally important to talk about is private government, corporations. They are also criminal syndicates. If the government has the money and the resources to stop you from dying, and they choose to spend that on a new yacht instead of stopping you from dying, they are responsible for your death, in my opinion. And so we have this situation where these corporations are also groups of well-organized serial killers. Again, like I said, the most prolific serial killers in America are police, senators, congresspeople, presidents, CEOs. These are the most prolific mass murderers in human history. The death tolls of ancient wars and ancient battles have nothing on the amount of death, despair, and suffering that corporations and government has wrought in the last 100 years. So we have from More Perfect Union on Twitter some more details of the Amazon warehouse that was struck by a tornado. Here are texts from someone who was killed. They were murdered by Amazon. They were murdered by Amazon. But because they were murdered by a corporation, there's going to be no accountability. If I went in, or let's say someone else, it doesn't have to be me, right? Let's say the tornado's coming, I went into the warehouse, and I shot all 6 of the workers right before the tornado killed everyone. And then, would I be charged with murder? Yeah. So, let's say I lock the doors so that they cannot leave. Would I be charged with murder? Well, no. Because they're my employees. I own them. I own them. They're my employees. So I can walk out there, lock the doors from the outside, watch them die, get my little jimmies off, and then go home and masturbate. Because that's what they are. They are murderers. This is mass murder. Legalized mass murder. Horrifying details are emerging about the tornado disaster at Amazon's warehouse in Illinois, where at least 6 workers were killed on the job. Before he died, Larry Verdon reportedly texted his girlfriend, "Amazon won't let us leave." 4 children. He was murdered. Who will be going into the steel cage for this murder. No one. No one will be held accountable. The family that this person leaves behind, will they get anything from Amazon? Money, resources, anything at all? Nope. The murderer of Larry Verdon is known. Their information is public. Most of the time, if I shoot someone in the middle of the street, right, the only thing keeping me out of a steel cage is my identity being secret. We're in this scenario where all you have to do is work for a corporation. You can kill anyone you want. Your name can be plastered all over television. You can be in the Forbes magazines. And you're not going to be held accountable. So here are the text messages. I am fueling up now. Well, I will be home after the storm. What do you mean? Amazon won't let us leave. All it's doing here is lightning. And then you can see this one is on red. And then about 20 minutes, 30 minutes later. So what are you doing? I hope everything is okay. I love you. And these messages were never read by Larry because Larry was murdered. He was assassinated by a criminal syndicate known as Amazon. So there's a thread here with more details if you want to read, but this is really the thing I wanted to talk about. He was murdered, plain and simple. I don't know if I need anything else on that. Why can't voices like Andrea run for office and win? Andrea has more intelligence in her pinky than 7/8 of our Congress and Senate. Maybe one of these days. I'm only 25, right? So anything's possible. I was messing around with the idea of running for office just to boost my profile. Because then I can go on like people's shows and be like, I can do like a tour. I've had this idea where I could like write a book and then I go on a book tour. Right? The book will be garbage. Fuck that book. Right? All it is a vehicle to get me on other people's shows. Maybe I'll get on like local TV. You can do the same thing with running for office. Why do you think 90% of people that run for office? To raise their profile. I mean, look at the 2020 primary for the Democrats, right? Most, like 99% of those motherfuckers, like look at Andrew Yang. Did you know who Andrew Yang was before the 2020 primary? No. He did that to sell books. To get money and to raise his profile. That's all running for office is. It's all a fucking game. It's all just a big joke. I'm familiar with Right Wing Watch. I follow them. I don't listen to their shows too often, but I definitely appreciate their coverage when it comes to like clip posting for sure. Yeah, I know about the candle factory in Kentucky as well. They were just following orders, right, Bongo? That's all they ever do is just follow orders. So in Kentucky, there was a similar situation to the Amazon warehouse where a candle factory was destroyed in a storm. And so I want to read this article from WLKY. I'm scared. Son recalls final texts from mother before she died at Mayfield Candle Factory. Instead of preparing for Christmas, an Oldham County family is planning a funeral for a loved one lost during the tornado outbreak in western Kentucky. 52-year-old Jill Monroe had just moved to Mayfield, Kentucky a few months ago and was working at the candle factory Friday night when the tornado moved through. She had sent me a text at 9:27 Friday night that she was taking shelter in the bathroom and that the storms were bad and for us to stay away. Rather, stay aware here, said Heather McFuggan, Monroe's sister. Chisholm, Monroe's son, said she texted this: "It's here, it's bad, and I'm scared." He said he spent the evening texting with her, but then suddenly she stopped responding. The next few hours were spent waiting, watching, and wondering what happened. Chisholm and his family spent hours trying to get in touch with his mother. All they knew was that she was working at the Mayfield factory, which was in the direct path of the deadly tornado. I called 43 times from the moment we found out until that next morning when her phone died. After unanswered calls and hours of waiting, Chisholm and his wife, Paige, hit the road Saturday morning. On the drive to Mayfield, they learned the candle factory had been leveled, but still no news about his mother. We got there and spent a couple of hours at the candle factory. They wouldn't let us down close enough to really see anything, but we were there. He said he eventually got in touch with his mom's coworker and friend and learned his mother spent her final moments helping her coworkers to safety. You'd think, right, this factory would have, a basement, would have some form of safety staff, given they're in a tornado zone. You'd think, right? No, you'd be wrong. It's everyone for themselves. She said, "The last time I saw your mom, she ran into the last stall and took a bunch of people in there with her, and we all laid down and tried to hold on, and she said, that's the last time I saw her." Sunday afternoon, Chisholm said the coroner's office confirmed his mother was one of the 8 people who died in the candle factory. You don't really ever think that anything bad is going to happen. He said, "It's tough, very, very tough." More than 100 people were working on holiday candle orders. On every level. Oh, why were they working in these conditions? For the holidays. That's right, you gotta buy your candle for Christmas. It's Christmas, you gotta buy your gifts. Remember? Capitalism. Consumerism. Let's send people to work in unsafe conditions so they can fill those candle orders. So that your grandma can get your little fucking stupid ass, bitch fucking dumbass gift under the tree. And then she can say, "Oh, this candle was made by someone who was murdered. Isn't that great?" This country sucks. This economy sucks. This culture is garbage. It's garbage. Since then, all workers have been accounted for, according to the state and locals who have spoken to the company. Louisville Emergency Management have a high level of confidence that no one is left in the building. Mayfield, home to 10,000 residents, and the candle factory, suffered some of the worst damage in the country. The tornado outbreak that killed at least 88 people, 74 of them in Kentucky, cut a patch of devastation from Arkansas, where a nursing home was destroyed, to Illinois, where an Amazon distribution center was heavily damaged. Monroe's family is working with the coroner to get the 52-year-old's body back to Oldham County. A GoFundMe has been set up, and I'm just going to throw that in the chat there, in case anyone is interested. But again, is the media going to talk about why they didn't just leave the building? Why they didn't have proper tornado shelters? Is the media going to talk about that? No, because the media is complicit in covering up the murder. The people that designed this factory knew tornadoes are real. It's not like this is the first tornado. Oh shit, what is that thing in the sky? It's like winds going in a circle. Never seen that before. Never heard of it. No, tornadoes have existed for a long, long time. So the idea that they just had no idea that a tornado could ever possibly hit them in a tornado zone is ludicrous. They purposefully saved money by cutting safety, and now people are dead. Is anyone going to get charged with murder in the first degree? That's premeditated. They knew when they cut safety, they knew that people could die. That's premeditated murder in the first degree. We need murder charges. But that's not going to happen. People are just going to die. They're going to be sacrificed in the volcanoes of capitalism, making their holiday gift orders made, so much so that they die in the process. All so that you can get your grandma a stupid little fucking apple cinnamon bullshit candle that she's going to leave on overnight and not even get to experience because it's all going to be gone by the time she wakes up in the morning. This country fucking sucks. It's garbage. It is shit on my shoes. And we need to hold these motherfuckers accountable. Because until we do, this is going to keep happening. It's going to keep happening. It's going to get worse. And it's going to continue to get worse, right? Until something. Until we all die. All the peasants die off. Right? Or it's fucking garbage, folks. Also, get wax warmers. I'm just saying, just throwing that out there. All right, so I know that, I've been dealing with some pretty heavy material here, but I want to end on a little bit of a lighter note. Here is Mehmet Oz on Fox News talking about abortion. Let's watch.
Exceptions, which I appreciate. What is your position as both a doctor and a senatorial candidate on when life begins? When should we draw the line when abortion is legal?
As a doctor, I appreciate the sanctity of life. And for that reason, I'm strongly pro-life. With the 3 exceptions I've mentioned, that's how I would vote.
Okay. So when does life begin? I believe in the sanctity of life. Okay. All right.
And when does that life begin?
Again, if I'm pro-life, then it's a decision that comes back to the sanctity of when you think life does begin.
So when does life begin? Well, I'm pro-life, and when you're pro-life, then what? Like, that's the thing. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Okay, let's.
And when does that life begin?
Again, if I'm pro-life, then it's a decision that comes back to the sanctity of when you think life does begin. And I believe it begins when you're in the mother's womb. Okay,
so life begins in the mother's womb. All right, that's okay.
When you're in the mother's womb, but that carries you all the way up to 9 months of pregnancy.
No, of course not. Life's already started when you're in your mother's womb. But it's a rat hole to get trapped in the different ways of talking about it. We need, as a nation, to make sure the Constitution is appropriately followed, and people like me, and you may be in the same camp, who are pro-life, have our feelings respected. And this is something that should not be taken away from us by judiciary legislating from the bench.
Yeah, but that's also something that's going to have to be legislated, and that answer is going to have to be given specifically. Listen, I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you tonight.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
That's brutal. I mean, like, that's fucking brutal. Holy shit. That is cringe. I don't even I like
exceptions,
which smug. Look at this. This is my favorite part. The first time he answers.
Doctor, I appreciate the sanctity of life. And for that reason, I'm strongly pro-life. With the 3 exceptions I've mentioned, that's how I would vote.
And he's like, yep, I nailed it. Right? Like, he, at this point in time, if you were to rewind and go to this moment in human history, what's going on in his brain is like, all right, I answered the question, I made it home, I'm done, right? Like, the confidence that this motherfucker exudes is incredible. But again, this is this is funny for us, right? Because the whole pro-life thing is stupid, right? Like, it's just like, if you are pro-life, you are dumb. If you, and I'm talking, I'm not even saying, if you are objectively pro-life, right? Like, if you're a communist, then that's cool, right? But if you're pro-life in the Republican stupid fuck way, you're an idiot. You are objectively a stupid person. You're a bad person, and you should probably just, jump in a river and go for a swim and then come back on shore and then use that experience to better your life in the future. But again, he can't even. It's such an easy answer. Life begins at conception. That's a phrase that exists. Why doesn't he just say that? How can you run as a Republican and not think about how you would answer the abortion question? What? It's bizarre, it's strange, and it's hilarious. And again, I'm enjoying watching this guy's campaign right now. It's pretty interesting. Woo! But yep, there you go. That's Mehmet Oz not doing so good on the abortion question. People are not going to be happy with that one for sure. Maxie! Max! Look at him. He's like, what the fuck do you want, bitch? What the fuck do you want, bitch? Folks, that's the show for today. That's the goddamn. That's today's episodic installation of the goddamn. Hello, Adelex Music. The problem is, in principle, it's actually acting in good faith with Justice Blackburn, seeking all different opinions from many experts morally and scientifically. What? Oh, the problem with abortion laws are based solely and totally on actual opinion in Roe. It has been for many years considered... Yeah, I mean, the whole thing is stupid. Maxie, you want to say goodbye? You want to say goodbye to the stream? He is not interested. It's not going to happen, folks. It is not going to happen. He's not going to provide anything. It's over. Folks, you ever do this thing with your tongue, right? Or you flip it sideways and you run it down your teeth, right? With your teeth are sideways, right? But it feels like you're rubbing it up your teeth, right? Because the nerve endings on the top of your tongue are doing it. You ever do this? Do this with me. If you close your eyes, right? Sometimes I do this when I'm on drugs, right? And I do this. And I imagine myself as a creature that has a mouth that's rotated 90 degrees, anyone ever do that? No? All right. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you all again very soon.
What's the most important issue in the governor's race here in Virginia?
Getting back to the basics of teaching children, not teaching them critical race theory.
And what is critical race theory?
Well, I'm not going to get into the specifics of it because I don't understand it that much, but it's something that what little bit that I know I don't care for.
And what have you heard that you don't?
Well,
that you don't like?
I'm not going to, I don't have that much knowledge on it.
Honestly, Sam, if I could just get the sentence out, we can talk about Jimmy Durham can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
I don't know who created Pokemon Go. But I'm trying to figure out how we get them to have Pokemon go to the polls.
You know, the truth of the matter is that when you look at some of my policies, Richard Nixon was more liberal than I was.
I liked beer. I still like beer. But I did not drink beer to the point of blacking out.
And then they have cans of soup. And they throw the cans of soup.